Well, welcome to another unboxing. It's been an unboxing craze that we've been having here at the workshop. It's wonderful. A lot of folks taking the initiative to either pack up or have someone pack up their machine that has been sitting waiting to get optimized or repaired and sending it to the workshop. So kudos. And kudos today to my friend Renee Jordan, who is from the great state of Texas and specifically from the city of Plano in Texas. And once in a while I'll pop in on Google and just kind of Google a city just to find out a little bit more about where that machine has come from. Plano's a fascinating place. Let me read a little bit of what Google has about this particular town. So what Google wrote, or what someone on Google wrote, is a city like no other. What started as a small, quiet farming community, Plano has transformed into a city known across the country for our smart people, amazing quality of life, and strong job market. Plano is home to roughly 270,000 residents, several Fortune 1000 companies, and more than 10,000 businesses. That's impressive. I definitely cannot say that about Oconto, and I'm guessing many of you, wherever you live in the country or around the world for that matter, would be hard-pressed to brag about that type of outcome. So that's really impressive. And when Renee and I started talking, she talked a little bit about this machine and just kind of her goals. And I'm not going to tell you what the machine is, but I will tell you that the machine it's really going to be a focus on optimizing the machine and doing some rewiring. So that's going to be my focus. I might discover other things and I'll let her know that. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get started on this unboxing before my computer goes into some sort of weird sleep mode again. And I can't quite tell if Renee had UPS pack this or if she just got the box there and then shipped it from there, but this looks like it may have gone through UPS, so. And as usual, if you want to try to guess what make and model this is before I announce it, I'll send you something special. The last winner on that type of contest was Piper out of Canada. And Piper, you need to send me your address so I can send you something special, buddy. Yeah, my hunch is that UPS packed this because I'm seeing their traditional double box method. So I'm guessing Renee probably took it to the UPS store down in Plano, Texas, and said, pack it for fragile, pack it, you know, so that it gets to Wisconsin safely. And that's what they did. So let's see how they, as we dig into this more, let's see how they did in protecting this machine. And on the last impromptu contest where we were doing an unboxing for what turned out to be a FOF 332, Piper joked and he said, "Boy, you're a tease. You're just not giving us any clues at all." Because all I did was tell him the weight of the machine, and I didn't even tell you the weight of this machine if it has it on the box. 36 pounds. 36 pounds is the shipping weight of this container. But I can tell you in that giveaway that Piper just won that I didn't give a lot of clues. I'll give you a little bit more help on this one. A little bit more help. I will give you the manufacturer, which is Singer. And that leaves the door pretty wide open too, doesn't it? All right, well, whatever. It is what it is, right? That's one clue that you didn't have that you have now. All right, let's put on another fun song with... Whenever I think of Texas, and as I read more about Plano, my thinking was revised a little bit because it sounds like a very progressive, sophisticated type community. But whenever I think of Texas, I think of Chuck Norris, I think of Texas Ranger, and the time that I spent down in Texas always just had that wonderful country type feeling to it. So here's another one called Barnyard Surprise. It's kind of a little fun country song. Here we go. I think I'm going to be able to lift this out of here. It doesn't have a lot of padding around it. I'll show you by leaning it a little bit. You can see the way I'm judging that is you can see how the box is able to move around a lot. And there's no padding on the bottom of the box, so hopefully the machine on the inside is padded well on the bottom in particular. It's got these little airbags which are great, but as this moves around, if it's not packed real tight, then that box is going to slide around and these are going to slide around, and then all of a sudden you're not going to have any padding on the bottom as this box is being thrown from one truck to another and dropped and everything else. So hopefully we'll find out that everything is okay. See what I'm talking about here in the bottom? We've got this padding, but it tends to move around a little bit because it's not taped in place. It's not anchored in any way. And then there's just a little bit of filler paper. So I think if UPS packed this, they could have done a little bit better job. I've seen some of the UPS stores do a fabulous job, especially using their double boxing method. So. Just got a little bit of dust in my nose. All right, I'm going to try to show you something when it comes to a machine. You'll notice first of all that this box is not, I think you can notice, maybe if I turn it sideways it'll be even more obvious. This box is not sitting level. And it's not sitting level because the machine on the inside has basically pressed through the bottom of the box and it's caused a little bevel. And that bevel now is causing this box to not sit level. Now that concerns me only because if the machine is padded and packed well inside of this inner box, then the integrity of that box, you know, UPS doesn't use cheap boxes. The integrity of that box and the structure of that box is going to be stable. Let me see if I can lift this up in front of the camera and you'll be able to see the bulge on the bottom of the box that I'm talking about. I think you can see the bulge. Bring it down a little bit. Can you see that on the rear there where the machine is kind of pressing through the bottom of that corrugated box? And I can actually That's actually the machine bouncing around inside of the box. When I do this, if it's padded and packed well like the way we do it on our channel, you're not going to get any noticeable movement of that machine inside of that container at all. But you can see here, my table's level. You see here, on the front of this box, because the machine is not padded and packed well in there, we've got a gap here that I can actually slide my hand underneath, because that machine is kind of pushing through the bottom and it's leaning to the back of the box. So this UPS store definitely could have done a much better job than they did for Renee. Because as you already know, and I applaud all of you that have taken the step to get your machines packed up and get them heading here, whether you've done it or whether, like Gail yesterday, Gail shared with me that she and her grandson packed up her machine, the FOF 332. However you get it to the workshop, I think is fabulous, and taking the initiative to do that. I can't tell you how many people I talk to that talk about doing it, they never follow through. So, you know, if you're paying someone to do the service, so it just becomes probably a little bit of a frustration to you in particular with the money you paid out, that they didn't do as good of a job as they could have. All right, let's see what else we got here. And I think I'm getting ready to sneeze. Right on cue, I love it. I got some dust or something in the air here. All right, let's continue as I sneeze more. Excuse me. And we're also moving into allergy season as well. So, see what I'm talking about? All right, let's keep our fingers crossed for Renee. Let's keep our fingers crossed. All right, I'm going to come off the tripod and kind of show you what I'm seeing inside of the box, and it explains why that machine is causing that buckling of the bottom of the box, and why I'm feeling so much movement inside of the box. So this is our machine right here, and you can see there's nothing to give it any stability inside of that box. This looks pretty good. This looks pretty doggone good, but what they should have done then, just as we do in our packing method, they should have filled this cavity all the way around the machine. All the way around the machine, they should have filled this cavity with some sort of filler, whether it's the packing peanuts or whether it's paper or whatever, so that this machine is stable. Right now you can see it. It's just all the way from Texas. This is what that machine did inside of this inner box. It just got bounced all over the place. And I'm doing it from side to side kind of gently, but you can imagine how quickly they move boxes through those conveyor systems and everything. And this thing, I'm sure, got banged around quite a bit. Not to mention, you know, if it was going up and down, then it also went up and down inside of this box as well. So this is definitely, if Renee wants to give feedback to that UPS store, this is good. All this empty cavity around this box, so that this box is not immobilized, is a horrible example of a good packing method. All right, so let me get back on the tripod. And I'll pull this out of here, because there's obviously There's no packing peanuts or anything else to deal with because there's no filler around this machine. And so it'll be real easy to pull it out. Okay, so that last one I played was Willie's Sunnyside. The one before it, kind of the fun, playful one, was Barnyard Surprise. And then this one is called Lost and Found. Actually, I'm not going to do that one. It says calm. I need something a little bit more peppy. Let's do Hickory Hollow. Hickory Hollow. Here we go. All right, Piper, if you want to start making guesses, go for it, buddy. Piper said he's a real shy guy, but he's also got a dry sense of humor and a playful side in that last premiere where, I mean, you couldn't see anything as far as the form or the makeup of that machine, and he was already like, should I start guessing now? You can start guessing whenever you're ready. All of you folks should start guessing whenever you're ready. Have fun with this. That's why I do it. All right, let's see what we got. I'm trying to find a good entry point, so I'm thinking on this side will be best. And if you're new to the channel, everyone else is already saying it, I'm sure. When you're using scissors like this against the machine, make sure that you're angling the blades away from the machine, okay? And never, I mean, it goes without saying, but what do they say? Common sense is not always common. Never use something like this when you get to this stage in the unpacking. Please, 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 please don't use something like this. Now I'm liking that song a lot. That was the Hickory Hollow one, I think. I grew up, as some of you already know, I grew up with country and western music. I shared this, I think, in one of the other premieres recently. I grew up with a dad that loved Loretta Lynn, Conway Twitty, Merle Haggard, and the list goes on. And we would listen to that in Dad's F-150 pickup truck, traveling wherever we were traveling. Back in the day when, and this, you younger folks will say, what are you talking about? And you can Google it. But we used to listen to all those wonderful, wonderful singers on 8-track tapes. Yep, 8-track tapes. All right, this next one is called Twilight Train. This ought to be fun. It says it's dramatic. Yeah, it's a little dramatic, I guess. was going to grab a drink of water, folks. You can do the same thing. Or coffee or juice or soda or whatever your drink of choice is. Well, I don't know if you're impressed or not, but when I read that summary about Plano, Texas, I was like, wow, that sounds like a real fabulous community, doesn't it? Let's see what else we got here. This next one is called Dream Lagoon. Dream Lagoon, and it's labeled inspirational. Let's see what this one sounds like. See, this packing that they did here is fabulous. If they had just filled in all those gaps inside of that inner box so that this thing wasn't banging around inside of there, getting jostled everywhere, it would have been, all in all, it would have been a really, really good packing job. So it shows how if you just miss one part of the process, you know, things could go south. Hopefully they didn't, but all in all, a decent packing job, especially this inner part that they did here. What do you think, Piper? What is it? How about you? How about you, Super B out of Las Vegas? What do you think? Look at the body, look at the frame. Or Cindy, or any of my other regular folks that jump into the mix and throw out some real good guesses. Kind of taped around the bottom, so I'm trying to work around it. Almost got it. Well, that last tune was interesting. I don't know if I would call it inspirational. I didn't feel inspired by it, but maybe that's just me. Maybe you felt inspired. If you felt inspired by that last song, type it into the chat. I'd like to know. All right, so here comes our next one, and I'm already guessing it's going to be fun. It's called Swampland. Swampland. I think Florida gets a bad rap for that. Whenever you think of swampland, at least whenever I think of swampland, I think about Florida because that phrase I think came out of that territory. So let's see what this one sounds like. And it says rock funky. So, all right, put your seatbelt on, get ready. Well, that was Swampland. If you've never heard it before, we're in the same boat. I've never heard that song before either. Kind of fun. I feel like I'm giving it a haircut almost here because the layers are kind of uneven, so I'm trying to work the layers loose. Oh, what do we have now? All right, this next one is called Pink Sunrise. Here we go. So what do you think? Do you have any guesses yet? I've kind of turned the machine a couple of times so you've been able to see different angles of the machine. I think we got to go further for you to get an accurate guess, don't you? Yeah, this inner core is, they've got it layered very nicely. Very nice layering. And it's possible that Renee just used their materials and that she packed this. I have no idea. If she's attending the premiere, she can type in the chat whether she packed it or they packed it. But whoever packed the inner core did a decent job. I'm liking it. Okay, so what do I have next? We just did Pink Sunrise. All right, we got to play this one. It's called Gold in Them Hills. Gold in Them Hills. Here we go. Well, this makes me nervous that when someone puts tape right on the finish of the machine, which is what we have here. I'll come off the tripod, kind of show you what I'm looking at. Plus, that'll give you a little bit closer view of the machine at this stage. Maybe you'll be able to get a good guess off. You see right here, the tape there is on the faceplate, but there was some other tape over here too. And yes, that is a matted finish. That is a matted finish. Here you can see the tape as well across the finish of the machine, which is, I would not recommend that. Even on a matte finish, I would not recommend that. That was a nice little tune, wasn't it? I enjoyed that. Gold in Them Hills. All right, and this next one is Dance of the Fireflies. And what I'm doing across the top here is I'm kind of pulling the material up and then sliding underneath carefully with the scissors. Every packing is different, and you just have to kind of find those access points so you can peel that onion as safely as you're able. When we come off the tripod and get close to the machine, I'll show you this bobbin winding tire. It has had a good life. Kind of like that recent short drive belt on Chris's Husqvarna that I showed y'all. Well, people joke that I use a lot of tape, but whoever packed this up, I'll tell you one thing, they must have had a surplus of tape because they did not skimp on it at all. They did not skimp on the tape. All right, I'm not looking at the chat, but I can hear you all shouting through the chat, turn the machine so we can see the front. Turn the machine so we can see the front so we can get a good guess. I told you it was a singer. This is going to be an issue of a model and a sub-model, so look carefully, look carefully. All right, we're at a pretty good point now. We're going to keep on plugging on it. Like I said, you can see the tape. They just they were very generous in using the tape, to say the least. All right, this next one is called Safety Net, and I'm not going to zoom in again or come off the tripod, but this is kind of what I'm talking about here. This is not stretch wrap across the top of this matted finish. This is all tape, and hopefully I can remove it very carefully. When you pull off tape like this, if you get a machine that has tape on it, don't pull it straight up, pull it slightly on an angle. It reduces that tinsel pull on the pigment of the paint and off the finish of the paint, and you're less likely to cause damage. So just kind of pull it on an angle as you're removing the tape instead of straight up. And I'll do my best to protect the machine. All right, this next one is called Safety Net. I'm liking this. This is a fun tune. I'm loving this tune. Woo! Oh, really? Seriously? You just start to get into it and you're getting the whistling going on and everything else, and then you have to end it? What? I'm going to play that again. If you don't like it, oh well. It only runs 1 minute and 30 seconds. But I'm going to try to really listen to that whistling part. See if you can whistle along with it. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. All right, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Ha ha ha! Yeah! Yeah, you're kind of liking it too, aren't you? Uh-huh. I know you are. Oh, I didn't even hear the clapping the first time. We got clapping, we got whistling, we got all kinds of things going on. Yeah, this is gonna leave some of that gumminess from the tape on the finish, unfortunately. I'll just zoom in on it real quick so you can see it. That was the tape that we just removed from the top. See, all that gumminess from the tape is on that matted finish. Ugh. Well, if a customer does this, and again, it's not part of my packing method. If a customer does this, so be it. It's their property, it's their machine. But if UPS did this, if UPS down in Plano, Texas, put this tape across this matted finish, I can only guess that Renee is going to be going back to that store to have a little chit chat with them. Because that's definitely it's not a good thing. Not a good thing. I don't know what they got going on here. They have this tube kind of jammed underneath the arm of the machine. Interesting. It's a nice solid tube. It's very, very solid. Not to mention, for those of us that are really in our mind a 9-year-old, it also is a very cool potential toy that you can use. This is only one of the things you can do. See that? Yes, I have brown eyes. Or, oh, whoa, come on down. How about you, Piper? Do you know what machine this is yet? Do you know what machine this is? Yeah, we'll see. I'll look at the chat in a while and see if anybody nailed it. This is a tricky one. This is a little bit of a tricky one. All right, I don't know what I've got in here. I think it's part of the wiring. And that is the focus of this project. It's going to be wiring, and I can see why Renee was concerned about that. This wiring is looking real brittle. Real brittle. I'll push it out the back here, I think. So, other than the gap point in the box allowing that machine to bounce around a lot and putting tape on the finish of the machine, I'll tell you one thing, I've seen much worse packing jobs. So I think all in all they or whoever it was that packed it did a decent job. But again, never, ever, please, never, ever, doesn't matter if it's a glossy finish or a matte finish or Godzilla finish or God knows what, never, ever put tape directly on the machine finish. Please, please, please don't do that. Up here too, across the balance wheel and across the clutch. This is that bobbin winding tire I was talking about. I think Renee Moore, or if she got this, I don't remember the story, if she got this machine from someone else or if it's been in the family, but they got their money's worth and then some on that bobbin winding tire. Let me tell you that right now. So I'm giving you, if you haven't guessed it yet, I'm giving you a couple more clues. It's got a back tack feature. Kind of look at the different attributes that we're able to see at this point. There's our foot controller for it. Almost looks like a Spartan foot controller, doesn't it? All right, let's keep on plugging. I have my new battery in the camera, and I'm not impressed with it. I don't know how long we've been filming right now, but I'm down to 2 bars already, so I'm kind of bummed. Maybe that's why it was less than $10. But, at any rate. Okay, this next one is the last one we did, again, that I played twice because I thought it was really cool. That one was called Safety Net. This one is called Acoustic Circles. Acoustic Circles. turn down the volume a little bit in case I decide to chit chat. So again, this tape that's on the front of the machine, pull it on an angle. Pull it on an angle as you're getting it loose. I've got my screen the wrong way. Oh, Lordy. Yeah, it's going all the way across the back of the motor to the tape. I always check to see that they didn't put any extra pressure feed or anything like that in there. Oh yeah, I can see now. I'll set this to the side. It's actually falling apart all over the workbench. I'll just kind of, here I'll use my other cutting thing to kind of prop it up. We'll take a closer look at it. Renee, I totally understand why we're going to be focusing on rewiring now. I totally get it. All right, I'm going to set this foot controller to the side as well. Yeah, you're not able to see it. I doubt you can. Well, maybe you can. But that wiring is to that point where, yeah, you can see it. All the different parts of the wrap on the wire are it's just basically disintegrated. Just disintegrated. And that happens. That happens over time. Oh, that doggone stickiness from the glue of the tape. Very irritating. All right. What was that last one? Acoustic circles, right? So now we're going to do campfire song. And I'm going to come off the tripod and we're going to explore this machine a little bit closer. Did anyone guess it yet? The specific make and model? If you guess that it's some sort of a Model 66, a Class 66, you would be in the right direction. You'd be in the right direction. And that's a big hint for you. So as we go around the machine, I'm not going to give you the specific submodel yet, but as a matter of fact, I'm going to leave it open-ended after the premiere, and if you want to post your guess in conjunction with this premiere announcement on Facebook, go ahead and do that. And you can describe, you already know I'm telling you it's a Class 66, but if you can figure out what the submodel is accurately, I'll send you something special, okay? So let's come off the tripod. I'm going to get another song going. This is called Campfire Song. All right, let's come off the tripod. With my brand new battery, which is not doing really well. Ugh. All right. So some of the things you should be noticing that'll give you a little bit of a clue. The style of the faceplate can oftentimes help you identify the submodel. The type of upper tension, in this case it's an unnumbered upper tension, which is also giving you an idea as far as the year of the machine. And we'll just go around and look at the other features of it, see if it helps you identify that submodel within the Class 66 family. Tell you what, I'm even going to go by the serial number, but that's not going to help you a lot because usually in the serial number summaries, all they're going to tell you is the core model. The core model. So in this case, it's going to tell you it's a 66. But you can read it there. A as in Apple, G as in George, 264459 is the serial number on Renee's machine. You can see on the back of there too, that gives you an idea of the wiring. Yeah, that wiring is definitely had a good life. All right, let's look at the back of the machine a little bit. I'll just pick this up and turn it around too once we look at the side over here by the clutch. It's real shadowed anyway, so I'm going to turn it. I'm liking that bracket on here. That's really a cool bracket for mounting the motor. That's classy looking, isn't it? All right, let me pick it up again on this angle. Looks like we might have a little bit of damage to the motor, where the motor brush would be housed. And the belt is probably serviceable, but I may end up replacing that as well. And being a Class 66, you can see as usual, it's not going to sit level. We'll have to put one of our furniture sliders underneath that little foot on the back of the machine there to get this machine leveled when we operate it. And again, from this angle you can even see more of that wiring. It's just horrible. This is the part on top that I was talking about on the motor, where that may just be, now that I'm looking at it closer, zooming in on it, that's a combination of the tape that was over the top of it, and it's just all crudted up. So hopefully I can get that out, because servicing the motor brushes when I do the motor is a critical point. I can always crack the motor open and get to them that way as well, but you know, for regular maintenance on the machine, as those motor brushes are going to be changed out, it makes it a lot easier on the owner if they can just open up those little access points and pull the brushes out. So here we're looking at the nomenclature plate on the back of the motor. Made in the USA, obviously. And let's see here. It's all kind of gummed up and everything, but let me see if I can shine a little bit more light on it. Yeah, actually that's not helping. That's making it worse. So you can see the size of the motor there when I really get close to it. 0.6 amps. So it's not going to, even though it has kind of a Spartan style foot controller, it's not going to be that upgraded 0.8 amp motor as we've seen on some of the Singer models. We've seen it on some of the Class 66 models. We've seen it on some of the Singer 99s that have been upgraded to that 0.8 amp motor that is classic of the Spartan. This one is going to have a 0.6, which is still going to be more than large enough to get the job done, especially after I get done going through the motor and such. I don't know what that is. It's almost like a, where is it? My finger. It's almost like a tar on there. That's not from the tape. That's something else. And I know Renee said she wasn't concerned about the finish, but I always spend just probably about an hour and a half or so just doing some general cleanup on the chrome pieces and on the paint patina as well. And not necessarily for vanity's sake, not because I want to make the machine look all pretty and everything. That's part of it, but it's also just to get rid of the dirt, because dirt again does what? If you said migrates, you're absolutely right. If the dirt stays on the machine, it's going to eventually migrate around the machine. It'll get on the belts. It'll get on the pulley for the motor. It'll get into these little gap points on the balance wheel. It just goes everywhere. It just doesn't respect it doesn't respect boundaries at all. I was just trying to see what this plate says on here. Oh yeah, there's nothing horribly revealing about that. The only thing revealing about it, and I've talked about it in recent premieres, and I'll emphasize it again right now, is you'll notice that the foot controller, as I've told you in the past, is rated at 0.7 amps. And we know that the motor over here is rated at where is it? 0.6 amps. And that's absolutely correct. You always want your foot controller to just have a slightly higher amperage tolerance than the motor, because that allows that flux of the motor up and down as far as the amperage, and it doesn't result in, even at slow sewing, it doesn't result in this foot controller overheating, because it's got a higher tolerance of amperage than the actual motor. So just keep that in mind if you've got a machine at home or you acquire a machine. You always want that foot controller to have a higher tolerance of amperage than the motor that's on the machine. Does that make sense? We'll just take a real quick look at some of this other wiring that Renee was concerned about, and for obvious reasons. I'll zoom in a little bit. Almost looks like it was in a fire, doesn't it? It really does. The fire of a hot summer in Texas, maybe. So yeah, all that wiring is just shot, obviously. Well, again, I'm not going to tell you the submodel of this Class 66. I'm going to let you do some research and due diligence, and then whoever posts the correct answer first on Facebook in conjunction with this premiere announcement is going to receive a special gift from me. That is, if you actually contact me and give me your address so I can mail the special gift to you. Again, just a reminder to Piper. Piper won the last contest. So Piper, if you want a gift, my friends, send me privately through Facebook Messenger your mailing address up in Canada, and I will get something off to you. So this again is Renee Jordan's really cool Class 66 question mark from Plano, Texas. And I'm really glad that she sent this machine. It's going to be a fun project, getting it running just tip-top, getting all that wiring replaced that needs to be replaced, and just getting it optimized, getting this machine running at the top of its game. And of course, a new bobbin tire as well. So beautiful emblem badge mark on Renee's machine, isn't it? That just looks like it's absolutely 24 karat gold. And even if it isn't 24 karat gold, this is an incredible treasure from the great city of Plano in the great state of Texas. And again, post your guesses on Facebook as far as the submodel, the subclass of this model. And if you hit it, if you nail it, I'll send you something special, okay? All right, God bless, take care, and stay tuned for other great unboxings like this where we never know what we're going to find. We just don't. Plus, we have cool music too, which I should probably end with since I have just a little lick of battery left. See if I can get squeak one more song out of here. Oh yeah, this is a good one to end with. Yeah. Morning mandolin. My battery is starting to flash. I better hurry. All right, the camera's going to cut any second now, folks. God bless, okay? And remember, you're never old until regrets take the place of your dreams. So hang on to your dreams, whatever you're doing, whatever you want to do, you can do it. All right, thanks again, Renee. Take care, everybody.